Hallelujah. Sing it out, sing it out, sing it out.
Hallelujah.
Good morning, CSL Simi Valley.
Good morning.
I had all these things I was going to talk about, and then suddenly I remembered I said something last week about hanging out in your PJs and enjoying kicking back, and feel free to just show up here in your PJs. I love that. I love that. Especially on these nice chilly mornings. Now, you know, you're bored. With the help of a very good friend of ours, a guy named Seth Dudley, was able to, some of you guys know him, so was able to negotiate a really wonderful lease agreement that included fixing the roof, so we had some rain and we didn't get a leak, and new HVAC systems. So you might be wondering, why am I so cold? Well, it's winter on Wednesday. With so many things in the country right now, our brand new carrier units are stuck in the supply chain delay. And I keep calling them, and they keep saying, well, I told you, I don't know, so I don't know. In the meantime, thank God for Costco. We got some space heaters. Hopefully that'll work it out. We're doing a temporary thing, so probably the electric bill's going to go up. But hey, that's okay. The rent went down, so that's all right. I love it. It's all right. It's all going to work. It's all going to work out in the end. But I just wanted to address that. We're not sitting here like, like what? It's not cold. It's it's just all in the mind. It's consciousness. There's a word for that. BS, belief system. Belief system. All right. Speaking of belief systems, one of the things we believe in is sharing our good, sharing our wealth, sharing all that we have. And one of the ways we can do that this year, we're partnering with Costa Pacific, and we're asking for you, we have just till Wednesday to finish this up. We've been getting a lot of gift cards. We're asking you to donate a gift card or cards for stores, fast food restaurants, put it in the lobby in the basket, or come to the center and drop it in the slot between now and Wednesday, and they're going to come pick them up. This is different than the usual thing, which would be the giving tree with the ornaments on it. It's the same kind of concept. So if you go to a big box store or something like that, or where they can get gifts for the kids, that'd be cool. These are also going to go to families who are in various stages of need. So that's why we also are saying food stores as well, because, wow, right? There are a lot of people that are dealing with just, what's that noise? That's the noise of not enough people caring. So we get to care, all right? That's how we do our vision and mission statement. That's how we make this place live the way it lives. Let's share that right now. We're community, inclusive, loving, and authentic. We celebrate all paths to God in gratitude, empowering self and others. We serve compassionately through outreach, inspiration, and education. That's who we are. That's why we're here. And here's what we do. Reverend Nancy. Reverend Nancy is such a demonstration of the power of the science of mind teaching and the consciousness that goes with it. And we love you, and we know that your mom and your dad are now partying in that great eternal nowhere that is everywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah?
Exactly.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. You do some prayer for us?
Yes,
all right,
I will.
Looking lovely today. Very Christmassy.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, so let's just go into treatment. There's only one power, one life, one love, one infinite intelligence that is in and through everything, everyone here, everyone everywhere. And I'm knowing for this service that it was blessed before we ever arrived. It is so perfect. The music fills our hearts, our being with this season of love and light. I'm knowing that no matter where anyone is tuning in this morning, that they are filled with love, filled with light. Reverend Stephen speaks the perfect word with humor and grace and beauty. We are such a blessed community, and I feel so blessed to be a part of this one. So in knowing all of that is happening right now, in the only moment there ever is, we are filled with gratitude, we are filled with love, and we know it is so, and together we say, and so it is.
So it is. Join us in our congregational song, How Can I Serve Today? How can I serve today, sweet spirit? How can I serve today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Who needs my love today, sweet spirit? Who needs my love today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Can I serve today? How can I serve today? Who needs my love today? Who needs my love today? Sweet Spirit.
This is that space where we create the consciousness of kids. So we're just holding that space for the Cosmic Kid program, knowing that it expands and grows exponentially once they start showing up. And we know they're all here in consciousness and soon will be here in the physical space. And so it is. Grandkids sounds good. Yeah.
I bring one of those sometimes.
Yes, you do.
Let's say our affirmation together. I'm going to read it, and then I'll have you read it with me. Let me take these off. 'Tis the season to join life's symphony and live in harmony with the whole. Together? 'Tis the season to join life's symphony and live in harmony with the whole. I have to tell you, last night I was at the Pasadena Symphony and Pops with, and it is interesting how they all are individual instruments and people, and they come together in that beautiful whole of sound with 100-voice choir, the children's chorus of Los Angeles, 50 young people from they looked like 10 to 14 that sang like angels, and it was magnificent. So when I saw this, I thought, oh yeah, that symphony is amazing, amazing. So I've had a little difficulty with finding the reading, and then as we were meditating, I said, this is it, because as Reverend Stephen just told you, my father made his transition just this week. Thank you. He was 91. He lived a full, fantastic life, and he wasn't sick until he was for a week, and then he was like, I'm out of here. His big thing was to say, I haven't had the flu since 1962. And he hadn't. So in 2022, he did, and it was the final flu. So when we awaken our body, we gain access to the root of our emotional core as well. If there is stuck energy in the body, as we awaken it, emotional energy can be released. As our bodies relax in the Yoga Nidra state, we find ourselves remembering aspects of our past that can be accompanied by powerful feelings. This is an effective, natural method to allow yourself the permission and freedom to heal. Herring's law of cure states that the cure is from above downwards, from within outwards, from major organs to minor organs, and symptoms will disappear in reverse order to their appearance, i.e., the first symptom to appear will be the last to go. This last part is what is most applicable to the emotional release process. There has been a war waged with the body for several thousand years. We have come to believe often through our religious upbringing that our bodies are adversaries, and our culture has done its best to demonize them. The truth is, our bodies are our temples. They are our vehicles, given since birth to experience all of life. Our bodies are to be celebrated. When we consciously celebrate our embodiment, the aberration of abuse falls to the wayside. There is an acceptance of our humanity, all the joy, ecstasy, pain, sorrow, and all the myriad of emotions we are capable of. When the repression that causes depression lifts, when we alter our beliefs and allow ourselves the freedom to express, we then have the ability to live authentically and congruently. The way of the open heart is synonymous with pure liberation, living a life of purposeful integrity and wholeness. Know that your unique gifts have a profound, inspiring, and lasting impact, not only during your lifetime, but also long after your life here is complete. We all leave a legacy, and every day we have an opportunity to determine what that legacy will be. And this was from Simple Brilliance by Raymond Powers. My father left a beautiful legacy of love, and he was 2 weeks ago running around the valley taking people from the bus stop that he did not want to have to take the bus to where they needed to go. He was living his fullest, best life, and that was his legacy of caring and love. And he left 4 children who have brought in 9 grandchildren who are now bringing in like 18 great-grandchildren. So, you know, we come here in these beautiful bodies and we leave them, and that is our eternality. So, thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you. Thank you, Nancy. Well, he's back. Alberto Del Pino. And just so you know, Alberto's birthday is Christmas Day, a week from today, so happy birthday.
Happy holidays. So of course, I chose to play some holiday music, some Christmas music. And the first song that I'm going to play today, it's, to me, the most beautiful one.
That was actually last night when I was singing Rest in Heavenly Peace. And so right now, let's take that heavenly peace right into our earthly hearts, right here, right now, and just know that we are at peace. That was beautiful. So 3 minutes. I think we could make a commitment in the new year to 3 minutes a day of conscious breathing, of bringing that love and light into our hearts. So I'm knowing we can do it. Let's do it.
Thank you. Come on back up, Alberta.
Okay, there you go. So, second song, because I have to tune. The second song, it's a song that when I look at it, it has actually, there are two versions of that song. So, and one is German, and the other one is British. And I said, well, I'll play both of them. So I arranged them to be a one song. So let's see if you like it. Thank you.
Little trance. Hello, Deborah. Save the people on the internet from having happening in the world. And I'm thinking about this idea of the symphony and seeing life as a symphony, society as a symphony. So well said. We all are instruments in this great thing. And I also am really aware of how many people don't get to play their full song, of how many people are pushed aside. And the idea I want to talk a bit about today is not just the typical idea of the season. Of course, we know it's a season of love and light and all of that's what we really are about. We're so... I see you and out there's so much to be taken, so much othering going on in the world. I was thinking about this symphony idea, and there's this wonderful elixir. It's called water. I just love it. I try to do 3 of these a day. Okay, try. The success is not there. But in thinking about the symphony, I remember some time ago hearing an article, reading an article about how few between the judges and the violinists would play behind the barrier. Excellent. Right? Women started jumping into the first chair really fast. And as I was going through this experience of remembering that, I came across, because I used to play the trumpet, and I came across this woman named Alison Balsam, who is like the world's #1, an incredible experience of this idea of playing your personal instrument to its fullest, and what song she can bring to the world, what song we can all bring to the world. We're living in this great terror moment. It's really crazy. As we begin the season of light, Hanukkah, tonight's the first lighting of the Hanukkah candles, coming up like a week or so. It'll be the first day of Kwanzaa. We've got Christmas coming up next week. And it's interesting how much rhetoric there is. There's this xenophobic rhetoric in our country, and at the same time, people are racing to go get their Christmas tamales or pancakes today. But at the same time, they will put an article in front of a group of people. How many people say the mother, the father? You know, unless we're talking about the mother, the great father, right? And even then, that also articleizes that spiritual experience, which is really not an article or a thing at all, is it? It's a feeling, it's a presence. But you hear people all the time say, the Jews, the blacks, suddenly turning them into an article. This tribalism, this xenophobia that's going on in the world, this nationalism that leads ultimately to war, because if I'm this group and you're that group and there's only this much space and you cross that line, we got to fight. And that's not happening. That's not what this season is all about. That's the shift that we get to take place. Society's great symphony that's being called forth for us right now is to get rid of the anesthetized hearts. I think there's so much talk about this that we've actually become a little bit numb to it. That's just the way things are. There's just going to be 73 million Americans that are going to be different from the other 75 million Americans, and there's no way that that's ever going to come together. There's just going to be 4 billion people in the world that are totally different from the other 4 billion people in the world, and never will the 8 billion people get together. Is that ridiculous? Yes. And we get to be the instruments of change to shift that dynamic, because it's cruel to objectify. It's cruel to even do it. We even do this objectification to nature, you know, the way we treat our precious earth, this thing that gives us life itself, that is a living experience, a living being in its own right, you know. As I think about these things, as I contemplate this throughout the week, and it just sends me in I was downtown last night, and I ride the subway when I go downtown because, one, it's fun, and it's cheap, and you don't have to park a car. But you get to see something. You get to see a part of our anesthetized hearts, our cruel hearts. It calls one to action. I just felt like sitting down next to people and just saying, tell me your story. It feels like we're hitting some kind of a bottom in our society. Like all the instruments, you know, so Alberto was tuning. And how do you do that, dude? How do you just like tweak it and it's there? It's amazing. But what I got out of that is that's what we can do. We can tune to the great instrument of ourselves, tune to the divine being within us, and be in harmony in this symphony thing called life. And as we hit that bottom, as we go, ooh, those notes don't match, that's a total dissolving of harmony. That's an opportunity, really. The bottom that we're hitting in society today, if it feels like a bottom for you, if that's what it feels like for you, that's a good thing. That's an okay thing. That means the stuff is really dissolved down. Oh, that's out of tune. It's a time for me to tune in, to transform, to redeem myself, to redeem society itself, and to move into a new place. I think that's the seasonal message right now. I think that's what we're being called to see right now. The message to all society, that all people are relevant, and all people have an impact. Even if that impact, especially if that impact is to touch your heart, to make you go, ooh, I don't want to be there. If I don't want to be there, and I'm a part of the great symphony of life, they don't want to be there. It's my job to help them not be there. That's what we get to do this time of year, and we are so fortunate. We don't have an HVAC system, so we went out and bought space heaters. Some people can't do stuff like that. What are we going to do with that advantage? You know, people toss around this word privilege lately. You know, you have white privilege, American privilege, whatever. But it's advantage. Be not mistaken. We have an advantage over a lot of the world. So what do you do when you have an advantage? Maybe you share it. Maybe you turn back and go, here, take my hand. This is the call that's out for us at this time of year. A couple of guys did some studying about this sort of stuff. Their article was in a peer-reviewed journal. Why I'm reading a peer-reviewed journal? Get a life, Stephen. But in it, this guy, David Baum and Robert Weinberg, they said, a society is a link of relationships among people and institutions so that we can live together. But it only works if we have a culture. It only works if we have a culture. Our culture is when we see significance in how we are. We have a shared purpose, and we find meaning in that purpose and that significance. Why we read our vision and mission statement. That's our shared purpose. That's our meaning. We find significance in living in that experience here as the family that is CSL Simi Valley. We do that Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, the United States of America. It stands, we do that. That's to help us have a sense of culture. We share, we run into the Super Bowl. We watch the World Cup, which has helped to bring a little more culture. We do all these kinds of things, you see. It implies that we have a shared meaning. But when we don't, there it is. It falls apart. Life starts to fall apart. Are we sharing that meaning? Are we sharing that significance? And I think that that's what these celebrations that we take place this time of year, that's what these ceremonies, that's what these rituals that we participate in this time of year are here to tell us. They're here to keep us together, to hold us. So as we search for the light, as we search for the divine presence within, without, and all around about, we find a shelter for our love, a shelter for our hurt, a shelter for our pain. It begins to educe, to share, to open up, to engage a story. And as we engage in that story, we use these rituals, things that mean something. Just the poinsettias, the candles that we light, the trees that we purchase, the menorah that we'll light tonight, the lights that are on our Christmas trees. All of these things, these are actually social technologies, right? They're a technology. They're a technology that helps to bring myth and meaning into space that we can understand and share. One of the reasons I was downtown last night was I had a chance to go to a Stevie Wonder concert. It does this Holiday for Toys thing. I Okay, 30-second clock on a tangent here. So I had a friend I went to high school with. His name was Steve. He was my run-in buddy. We got into so many challenges and problems and stuff in high school. It's like I'm just lucky to be here, and he's lucky. We're both lucky to be anywhere. And so over the years, we kind of bounced together and hung together and stuff. He's a preacher now. Hardcore Baptist traditionalist preacher, and every week we get together. I watch his Wednesday Bible lessons, and I'm like, man, how can you say that? And he goes, why do you say that? I sent him the Science of Mind textbook. He says, I got to quit hanging with you because you're messing with my baptism. No, I'm not. This is what Science of Mind is here to do. It's here to upgrade anybody's spiritual faith, whatever it is. So we have these great conversations. So here's the rest of the tangent. His son has created this gospel jazz fusion music, and Stevie Wonder heard the music and invited his son, John Paul, to come play at the concert. Steve lives in Cincinnati, couldn't get into town, gave me the tickets. Boom! It was a fantastic event. Now, the reason I bring this up, it's all about this time of year, this season, and how we get into alignment during this time of year. Something happened at that show last night, and in my reading of that guy that I've been enjoying reading this month, the ritual guide, anybody remember his name yet? Zagalakis. That's the guy. In his book, he talks about something called collective effervescence. Collective effervescence. It's when emotional states become aligned. It happened last night. Stevie broke out in superstitious. And people were like, everybody started singing all together. He sang every song from Talking Book, which came out 50 years ago this year. 50 years ago. So he sang, You Are the Sunshine of My Life. And goosebumps were rising up. And I caught it. The whole room was moving together. That's collective effervescence. It was happening in that space, you know. It happens when you go to the game and you see a really good wave. And I mean, like, the good wave where it looks just like a wave going all around the whole stadium. That's collective effervescence. When we're singing our songs, when we sing our song each day, when we do our chant, that's collective effervescence. What happens is, literally, they have studied this scientifically, that there is a neural bonding that takes place. They have studied people and looked at their blood and seen how the people literally line up in tandem with each other. This is what happens to us this time of year. These things, these chairs, these chants. The feeling actually defies description, but if you've been in the experience, you know what I'm talking about. You've had that experience of collective effervescence. Now, the great thing about it is it can feel really good, like going to a Stevie Wonder concert. It can feel really good when we're all here singing together, but it's the same thing. See, it's kind of like a spiritual principle. Electricity can burn your toast or cook you a really nice turkey, right? The same collective effervescence has caused people to hang other people from trees, has caused societies to march in lockstep, to denigrate another group of people and take their lives in mass numbers. It causes soccer fans to beat up other soccer fans, you know, unless they're Moroccans, because everybody loves Morocco. So we must be careful about this collective effervescence that can happen. And that's another thing we get to do with this particular season, because the effervescence is one of love. It's one of peace. It's one of light. That's what we get to share. That's our responsibility, to make sure that's how that collective feeling gets spread around. Zakalaka says that the existence of collective effervescence lies not in merely generating emotions, but bringing those who share them into more intimate and more dynamic relationship. See, we're being called, when we feel that, When you look over somebody and you're smiling because you're like both doing the same feeling, the same energy. When I was dancing to this one song, and this guy from Japan, his name was Monk. He came from Japan to learn to play the guitar, and his friend was a bass player in the band, and he was also there. And we were just great, he spoke English like 2 words, but we understood music together. We had that feeling. When you get that and you look over at that, that's to be shared, and it's also to be given out into the world, to push it forward, This is where we get to, this is how we can use this season to reverse this othering that I was talking about, reversing that women couldn't be in symphonies, reversing that a whole group of people get killed because they celebrate us, their way of celebrating life is different from your way of celebrating life. Are you kidding me? No, my goodness, we can't do that anymore. We must create this bonding activity. And really think about changing bonding from a noun to a verb. To practice the generosity of bonding myself to another. I belong. To belong, turn belonging into a verb. I belong. My movement is to belong to you, to belong to what I love, to belong to what is a part of life itself. And when I can feel that, I'm connected to it in a harmonious way. You see, because no action or no thought goes unnoticed. None of them. We know this. How many times have you tried to be really careful? I mean, I think about this one time I was visiting a friend, and I got hungry in the middle of the night, and he said, we got some cereal. If you get hungry, you can have a bowl of cereal or something. I was like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So at 3 o'clock in the morning, I went downstairs to get a bowl of cereal, but I knew everybody was sleeping, and I was trying to be so careful, open up the counter really carefully, and I was trying to get the bowl out, and the bowl just, and it hits the ground, bang, 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 bang. It didn't break, but it sounded like the world was coming to an end, because I was trying to be so careful. You know that feeling, right? So we need to nothing goes unnoticed, no thought, even a thought of trying to be careful. And in our lives, we frequently, when you go to your practitioner and you'll say, I've been praying for this and it's just not happening, and the practitioner will work with you, and through the work with the practitioner, you come to understand that you've actually working with some mixed beliefs. You're affirming this, but you're saying, but I am prosperous, but my bank account's not showing it. Boom, that's a mixed belief. So you're not getting the demonstration showing up. That's another example of everything is going unnoticed. The universe is hearing all of this thought, you see. But when we get into this collective effervescence feeling, when we get into this season of love and delight, we have this powerful energy, this powerful opportunity to move humanity into a new way, to move the universe into a new way, and to truly experience the interdependence that is taking place everywhere. We get to see that true justice in the world is what love looks like in person, in public. I think it's Cornel West said that true justice is what love looks like in public. If we can share love in public, we don't have to worry about equity or equality or any of those kinds of things, Dr. Holmes, in this lovely book called It's All About You, says that to the extent that we know love and harmony are the nature of God and permit them to flow through us, to that extent will our relations with others be harmonious. So our job, our role, our opportunity, our invitation is to truly know the nature of God, to express that harmony, to be in relationship with that. And then it becomes something we get into relationship with others. But here's the hard part, and that's what I was talking about last night, what happened to me. We must turn and face the wounds. That's not so easy. See, what I've been talking about up to now, it's been pretty easy. It's easy to go to a Stevie Wonder concert, It's easy to look at the candles and the lights and to see the love. It's easy to hold some of these thoughts that I've been sharing with you around othering and how challenging it is to see that, and how but here's where it gets. You got to get in the game, folks. You got to get in the game. We got to get off the stands and get onto the playing field. See, our true growth opportunity happens when we move toward ugliness. When we're seeing something that's ugly in the world, as religious scientists, practicing these principles, that's our opportunity to see if this S really works. Stuff is the S, in case you were wondering. That's our opportunity to see if this stuff really works. So we must not just know it, but we must act. We must act on the belief that you are necessary, I am necessary, we are necessary. That symphony that Nancy was listening to last night, if one person doesn't play their part, the conductor knows. And people who know the music really well, they know. And because we come here each week, you know. You know what you know. You know it. So when you see the ugliness, it's like Alberto playing his song out of tune. It doesn't sound good, which never happens because he's always in tune. So when we see this, it doesn't feel good. Because it doesn't feel good to us, and we're an instrument in the symphony, we can tune ourselves to solve it, to fix it. Now, it's not everybody's job to feed homeless. It's not everybody's job to sit down on the stoop with some guy and talk to him and ask his story. That may not be your job. I don't know how your instrument plays, but you do. You do. You get to witness what is shattered and help put it back together again. We get to consciously participate. And every year, my brother and I come up with the slogans for the year, trying to rhyme it with the number of the year. It was BU in 2022 was what we went with all year long. And we would end up a lot of phone conversations like, BU, I said, in 2022, right? So I was thinking for us as a community, I'm thinking 2023, we're community. 2023, we're community. But not just this community. Capital C community. All community. All community. That's what we're going to do in 2023. We're going to step out. Samaritan Center, look out. We're doubling down on what we're doing there. Everywhere that we participate, we're going to participate more. It's time to take our stuff to the streets. You know, years ago, the Centers for Spiritual Living, when there was United and there was RSI and all that craziness, United had a conference in Chicago, and Johnny Coleman came to speak, and the underlined phrase was, taking it to the streets. And Johnny Coleman walked up and says, I've heard about your group. You know who Johnny Coleman is? She was this incredible theologian. She started a church in Chicago. Gosh, the name of the church is escaping me now, but it's worth a Google search. Johnny Coleman, Chicago. So it's powerful, powerful. And she gets up and she says, I see this slogan, taking it to the streets, but before you bring your stuff to my street, how's your street looking? People in the room were like, I don't know. So when I say we're going to take it to the streets, we're also going to clean up our own street. We're going to do the work that we need to do with the workshops, and the classes are coming back. Workshops will be coming back, where we're going to work on our streets, our mental streets, and get that stuff cleaned up. So when we take our 2023 community out into the streets, we're doing it in a way that we're going in a clean space. Okay, so just get ready for the ride. That's what we get to do, you see. My good friend, I got to meet this person because I just like the name so much. Pokapau Turner, in the book Belonging, writes, It's only in remembering our wounded, outcast selves that we can belong our world back together again. See, so we're gonna do that kind of work in 2023. We're gonna look at our wounded, outcast selves, the parts of ourselves that we don't acknowledge, that we push aside, that we stuff down, the trauma, the dirty pain, all that stuff. We're gonna look at some of that. And then we're also going to look at the outcast, wounded world around us and see what we can do to bring about some healing. Little mission for us as we move forward, facing the wounds of the world. Because this is the time of oneness. I'm feeling that deeply in my heart, that each of us are little tributaries in the great river of life. And it's time to flow down into the fantastic delta and out into the sea. Whew, that metaphor stayed together. That's good. I like that one. That was good. Because I think it's time for us to clean up, to get kind of wild and jump back out there. You know, this river has a message. This symphony has a tune that this too belongs, whatever it is, whatever that ugliness is, this too belongs in this great symphony of life. And when we get into the flow, become part of that river, when we get into the symphony and start to play our harmonious part, I truly believe that sadness and hurt and pain will shift into an experience of happiness and joy and gratitude. That lack and want will go away, and freedom will move into its place, the freedom to choose and to move into new spaces, to be more creativity. That fear will shift into a sense of faith and joy and aloneness, which deeply hurts so many people this time of year. Aloneness will move into a space of all oneness. We can do that as a community, you know? We're like, we're 100 and 150 people at best. So what? We can have such an incredible impact if we decide to jump into this space. So this is the time to make a seasonal shift. You know, the mystic sits around and goes, ooh, God, yes, I am one with God. That's cool, like that. It's a good preparatory space. But the next thing is to go into the rituals that we've been doing, and that shifts us into a space where the self becomes seen as the group. And then we can move into transcendence. We move into transcendence. That's the next step. Dr. Holmes says that if you will take time daily to sense the presence of life within you, believe in it, accept it, before long you will realize that you are one with all life. That is the message of the season. 'Tis the season, my friends. Let's get it done. Let's get down with it. 2023, we are community, and so it is.
You're the sunshine of my life. There you go. I just happen to have it.
What was that? I missed it.
You are the sunshine of my life.
Oh, you are the sunshine of my life. All right, let's do our affirmation together. 'Tis the season to join life's symphony and live in harmony with the whole. Yes. Time for the revealing prayer. I just love that image. Something about that water just calms me down. You guys are beautiful. Just love seeing all of you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for participating in our spiritual advancement today. That's what we get to do together. In this moment, we get to bring our concepts into an application, to practice the principles. We're practitioners of religious science. We're experimenters in the faith that we believe in. So let's put some of that into practice. Let's begin. We know that it starts in consciousness. So we're going to ask everyone right now to just take a deep breath. Close your eyes. And in the silence of your own personal sacred space, ask the question, what is it for me to know to bring the fullness of life into the largest experience possible? What is it for me to know to bring the fullness of life into the largest experience possible? As you feel that, as something arises, and if something doesn't rise up for you right now, that's okay. The seed has been planted. It will. And so I'm going to go into a treatment and understand and know that the divine presence that is existing within each and every one of us has planted that seed for the largest experience of life to unfold through and with us, as us. It's there. And so by this word, we are fertilizing that idea, fomenting that idea, nourishing that idea into the fecund abyss of everything. That quantum space where everything unfolds into manifestation. So unified in this understanding, in this collective effervescent experience of simply knowing here and now that what is needed, what is necessary, what is right and perfect for each and every one of us to be that shift, to be that movement of divine energy of love and light in the world is fully present in every experience that we take. I know that we are powerful beings, and we use that power that is within us to be change agents for the world. Beginning with ourselves and moving out beyond ourselves into that place of the all-self. This is our truth. I hold this for each of us. I know it unfolds for us perfectly in this moment, here and now, and so it is. Hi.
Only you could use fecundin treatment.
It's one of my favorite words. Got that from Brian Swim in a book called The Heart of the Universe or something. It's a great book. It's one of my favorites because it's a thin book. You know how much I love thin books. Okay, so here we go. These are our ways to support our community. I want to thank you all so much for your donations and the continued support we receive for our center. And let's not let things down. Our board is very happy to report that we went 3 months in a row without going into our reserves to pay our bills. Now, that hasn't happened in a while. And we're not going to end this year in the black. And just to put that out there, we're not. We need to continue to do the work to let us thrive and flourish. And I just want you to consider that as we move toward the next year, how will you be able to support the center in ways that we get to do, not just doors open, but all those things I was talking about, bringing our community more healing. I really feel called that that's something that will unite us and give us a deeper mission as we move forward, right? So these are some of the ways you can support the center on a daily basis, and here's how you can support the center in a conscious way as we say this affirmation of abundance. Here we go. Divine love, it's doing its perfect work here and now. Divine love harmonizes. Divine love adjusts. Divine love prospers. Divine love foresees everything and richly provides every good thing for Center for Spiritual Living, Simi Valley, and the world now. Divine love is victorious. Thanks, Sherry. Here's your announcements for the week. A couple things to be aware of.
I'm just knowing that this love in the form of money is flowing in from infinite sources right now. All the sources that we know and we don't know. So this love in the form of money and abundance is richly received and flows in and out into our community here in the center and beyond. So we know this to be the truth, we let it be, and so it is.
Ah, there we go. Sound man's always in charge. Okay, we got a little song, another little Christmas song for you. Go ahead. Oh, come all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Christ the Lord. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Alberto, Sherry, thank you so much. That was really sweet. Okay, a lot of wonderful folks that helped to put this service together. Our lead person on the service team today was Mona, and then Greg and Pat were there, and I saw Costa doing some stuff, jumping in. Thank you so much for that. Deborah on the stage. Kathy, thanks so much on the slides back there. I think John was doing solo up in the booth today. Did he? Okay, the professor is back there, but John, thank you. Looking good. That's fantastic.
Also, I failed to mention that Alberto has new Christmas CDs outside.
Oh.
So
And also MP3? You got him on a You got him on the flash drive? Yes. He's like tech savvy. I love that. That's great. Soul Purpose Band, Steve Fowler, Bob Townley, Randy Jones, working it. Beautiful. Cheryl, we have one L in the room.
She's S and an L.
Yes, that's it. That's it. There you go. Oh, and office support later is Cheryl and Brad. Thanks so much for that, for the work that you do in the office after service. We appreciate that so much. I don't think I've got anything missing there. Nancy, you want to come up and join me and talk about some stuff? Yes, please. So you're not going to do a service on Wednesday, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't think there's anything to talk about.
Yeah, you're going to do practitioner after service?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm here
Okay, where are you going to be?
at the exit sign.
Wonderful. What are you going to do?
I'm going to know the truth for you.
Ooh, I like that. That sounds good. We'll see you next week, Saturday for our
Saturday,
Christmas
4
Eve service at 4 o'clock. Okay? And then the following Saturday for our New Year's Eve service.
Spread
at
the word.
4
There's no
o'clock.
Sunday service.
No Sunday service. You can just play and open gifts, play with Santa. All right.
Food.
Eat food. I love food. It's a great time here for that. All right, let's stand and do our closing benediction. Are you ready? I'm at home in the heart of God. My life is anchored in truth. I can never be separate. I live in the consciousness of peace. I release all fear. I am living love. Sing time.
Love be with you, peace unfold you, spirit lift you, breathe it in, come through you, make it flow to you, let joy renew you, till we meet again. Love be with you, ooh, love be with you, ooh, love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. All together, hand in hand, we see the line and take a stand, and we are changing. A whole new life for you and me. Take your path and set it free. Share this blessing. Oh, love be with you. Peace unfold you. Spirit lift you. Breathe it in. Come through you. Make it flow to you. Let joy renew you. Till we meet again. Love be with you. Ooh, 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 love be
All right. Go ahead. Start it.
I don't remember what day it was, and I didn't notice what time it was. love that. Thank you, Cheryl. Even when you weren't, I really appreciate it. I know I have never sent harmonies because I didn't write them. The girls did. So we have to get with Layne and I see what she's doing. I don't even know. I let them just write it. So it's just like we could get together and figure out just like, some harmonies. Yeah, I know. We need the harms. All right, Levy, I want you to take care. If you need anything, let's talk about Tuesday, going to that place. And maybe we could use that as a time to, but the best thing I can tell you, those cough drops worked really well. I don't know if that helped you. You want another? I'm going to go get some. Yeah, look at these. They're eucalyptus and menthol eucalyptus.